So, because Brexit is a thing, I now have my Polish permanent residence card. It's pretty cool. And I have to say, it's already making me feel a little bit more Polish. Recently we went up to the seaside and I went halfway into the Baltic. It was up to my waist. Now that's a first for me. And I reckon one day when I get my Polish citizenship, because that's the next logical step, I might even swim in the Baltic. So, you wonder, what other changes have been going on with you, Chris, since you became kind of Polish a little bit? Well, I suppose the most noticeable one is the fact that I quite enjoy going up into the mountains. So much so that yesterday, when I took my family up to Dębowiec and then up to Szyngelnia, that only whetted my appetite. And since I have a relatively free day today, I thought, why not go to the bus station, try and find a bus somewhere that'll take me close to a mountain, and go up that mountain in true Polish fashion. So, today, with Closely Observed World, I'm Christopher Walker, and I'm looking for a bus to the mountains. So here we are at the bus station. It's a lovely misty morning. I hope it's mist and not smog, but it's hard to tell with the smell. Let's see, that's going to Kozy. I don't really want to go to Kozy. I want something like Szczyrk, that would be ideal. Could always take the train somewhere. Maybe not today though. There's something over there. Szczyrk. Ah, perfect. Let's take that, shall we? Need to get my mask ready. This is good timing. So this is Szczyrk. Cost me 5 zloty 20 on the bus. Got a couple of different mountain options from around here. But I might try and find a coffee first, because it's still early, I haven't had a coffee yet. And I think with the mountain walk ahead of me, a coffee might come in quite handy. The mountain's not going anywhere, is it? But I need a coffee! Well, this is quite a handy little thing, isn't it? Nice big map of Szczyrk and the different mountains around here, roughly how long it would take to get up and down each one. Interesting. So I guess now I've got to just decide which one I want to go to. I'm going to leave Szczyrk for now. I'd like to do that with my family first. But there are a couple of others that strike me as interesting. Maybe I'll try and get up to Klimczok first, and then yeah, we'll see which way we go. So if I want to do Klimczok, I guess I want to go up Górska. Interesting. Okay, well, I think I've got an idea. Let's see how it works. So there are a lot of signs posted up ahead. Oh, that's a nice old style Polish restaurant as well. Tężnią, or Pod Tężnią. Nice. Wow. Looks all right. All right, I think I'm ready to start my walk. If you're ever in one of these little mountain villages, really recommend trying out the Polish cuisine at a true karczma, similar to the ones on these two sides of the road. Now, I haven't been to either of these karczmas, but I have been to karczmas before, and I like them. They're pretty cool. You get a proper taste of Polish cuisine this way, so I reckon it's always worth a try. When you go up the mountains, there are kind of hostel places, schroniskos I think they're called, and you can get some good food there, but to be honest, a little bit pricey, because obviously they have to get the food up to you, don't they? And that always adds a little bit of a premium. Right, I hear a river. Let's go and check that out, huh? You could probably just make out that radio mast at the top. That's Szczyrk. Sorry, not Szczyrk, we're in Szczyrk now. That's Szczyrk. Gosh, they really like to pronounce these things, don't they? And then over that way, a little way, you can see sparkling in the sun the cable car service that takes people most of the way up to the top. There's a similar cable car leading up to Szczyrk. I was thinking of taking that today, but they don't start running until 10 in the morning, and that's a bit late. I can hear that water. I want to see where it is. I think it's just down here, kind of walking alongside it. Let's have a look. Ah, yes, there we go. Very pretty. So I looked previously at that large map outside the tourist office, and then I completely forgot everything that I'd been looking at. But looking at it now, I've got a choice. I could take the blue or the green, and that'll take me up to Klimchok. It'll take a couple of hours. Or I could take the yellow line to Przełęcz Karkoszonka. Well, since I can hardly even say it, I reckon that might be the best bet for me. So I think I'm going to try that. I'll find the yellow line and we'll see where that goes. Looks like there's an old kind of ski lift or chairlift going up just there. Don't know if it still runs in the winter. And there continues the river. Right, I think I need to go this way for that yellow line. Let's see. One of the things I really love about these trails is that they're so clearly signposted. So here on this tree, we can see that we're on the green and on the yellow trails at the moment. Now, I haven't actually left the street yet, and yet someone has been thorough enough with their directions to make sure that even before you start, you can't really lose your way too readily. I really appreciate that, because although I have a pretty good sense of direction, it doesn't seem to translate too well when I go into a mountain or forest area. So I'm glad that that little strip is there. Just need to see where the next one is, because I imagine I might be going to the left soon. Hopefully not just there. I mean, that does look like access up into the mountain forest area, but ooh, steep. I don't think that's for me. It's usually at this stage of a video that people give a shout out to their sponsors. You know, Squarespace, some sort of VPN, that sort of thing. Well, I don't have a sponsor, except I kind of do. How cool is this place? Wow! Gosh, the things you see when you go off the beaten track a little bit. It's not exactly off the beaten track, of course. This is the main road from Szczyrk out into the mountains, but you know what I mean. Right, on we progress. That up there looks a lot like a more modern ski lift thing. They've got advertising boards and everything to suggest it is. It's not the season by a long way, but Szczyrk is known for its skiing, so this place is going to be thriving if there's a good winter, but if not, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, that's quite... That would be too much of a climb for me, to try and do it all in one go. And I don't see any markings to suggest that that's the yellow route. So... there's a tree up ahead that has a yellow bar painted across it. So I just need to stay on the road I'm on. Nice and simple. Now it's usually at this stage of the video that proper YouTubers will give a shout out to their sponsor, the people who made the video happen. So it's probably like, what would it be, Squarespace or Skillshare or some random VPN that's not worth the money. I don't have a sponsor for this channel. That's fine. Actually, I do kind of have a sponsor for the channel, and it's a very important person really, because it's my wife. Because I'm married and I've got children. So when I want to come out and make a video like this, somebody else has to kind of pick up the slack, and that would be Aga. So for today, for example, it's pretty much the last day likely to have good weather where I can do much. Wednesday, I start back at school. We have our induction. Today's Monday. And tomorrow, I'm not sure if it would really be that feasible. Certainly not for an adventure like this. So, here is my shout out to Aga. Thank you for making today happen, for letting me just wander off up into the mountains to see what there is to see. Cheers. Well, that definitely looks like a route, but my guess would be it goes up to Klemchok. There's a sign there saying that it's the blue route to Gorka, but I'm looking for the yellow one. Well, there's a place here that sells pivo for 7 zloty. That's beer. Important word if you come to Poland. Let's go and have a look back over here, because they've got the signposts. Aha, here we go. So, Przełęcz Karkoszonka is up this way. And it says it'll take me about half an hour. Okay, nice and simple then. Quite an easy walk. When I told my wife I was coming this way, she said, well, be prepared for disappointment, because you wanted to walk up a mountain. This is more like a hill. It's a bit lame. Lame-o dude. She's probably right. But you know what? I don't mind, because I've never been here before. And that is rule number 1 for me. If you've never been somewhere before, then of course it's going to have a massive attraction built in. Just the very nature of it. The unknown. Wow, that is quite a view though, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. Wow, I'll have to stop and take a photo of this. I love that little green house along just there as well. My goodness, there's some beautiful stuff around here. You know, for years and years I put off going into the mountains. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, I was never really that taken with the idea of walking in the mountains. What for? They look pretty at the bottom. But now I'm getting it. Really getting it. Who knows, before too long I might even give up eating curry and Thai food and everything else that's a bit fancy. And I'll stick with my kotlety, my schabowy. Nah, it's not going to happen, is it? Right, so check this out. This is quite clever. So the marking shows that I'm kind of banking to the right just here. But there's a bit of an issue, you see. Because what does it mean by bank to the right? Does it mean go that way next to the river? Or does it mean go this way up the road? Well, the answer is solved pretty quickly by the fact that right just here there's another marking just to confirm. It's really clever actually when you think about it. They planned for people like me who need a bit of reassurance. Which way? Which way? Don't worry, it's this way. I'm sure if I'd gone down that way it wouldn't have hurt. Looks quite pleasant actually. Maybe a bit damp though. So I'm going to do my usual thing now of walking up a steep hill, but at the same time talking into the camera, and then wheezing and puffing because the strain is a bit too much. So forgive me if that happens. Anyway, I was thinking, now that I've discovered what joy there is to be had in walking in the mountains, do I regret the fact that for the last 10, 12 years that I've lived in Bielsko, I didn't really do it? And I think the short answer is no, I don't regret it. Because it's not like I did nothing with that time. And now that I have this newfound enthusiasm for mountain walking, you know, it's a good replacement for going to the gym, to be honest. I've got so much still to explore. It's all fresh, it's all new. So no regrets. Okay, it's quite steep. Ooh. Might not be a high hill, but it's a good climb. Oh, made some friends. A moment of calm before continuing up. Okay, I have a choice. I can go down to the left. It will take me to Chata Wuja Toma. So that's some sort of like lodge. Or I can continue this way on the yellow and reach the peak. And I think I'll do that. Let's see what's at the top. Oh, this has been a good walk. I'm dripping with sweat, which is lovely, isn't it? Very charming. So here we are. This is basically it. There's that little hatter down just there. And you can see Szczyrk kind of in that valley. There's a sea of fog over there. Wow, amazing. I'd love to get above it and have somebody take my photo from behind so that I can look like that Caspar David Friedrich painting, the one that inspired the tattoo on my forearm. And now I have a choice of where to go. And I need to think where I want to go. Interesting. I love having these sort of choices, because there is no wrong option. The only question is, which way do you think my legs can take me without complaint? So there's another one of those handy little maps just here. So let's take a moment to think, shall we? So here's Uncle Tom's cabin, which is basically where we are right now. So that mark just there. So I've got a couple of options. I could go back round to like Shinjonia or Klimtrok or somewhere like that, but I've done all of that before. I could go down here into Brenna and then catch a bus back. And that feels like it would be too quick because that's pretty short. The other alternative, I suppose, would be to come up this way on the red route, stay up on the top. I'd be going past Hirtse, and then up this way to Kotash is just there, and Grabova, and down here to Biały Krzyż and Salmopol, because I've seen buses plenty of times mark Szczyrk Salmopol. I've always wondered what the place is, so I could go there. That might be the best option for me actually. And when I get there, if I've had enough and if the time's really ticking on, I'll stop and I'll get the bus back, because there's a bus straight to Bielsko from there. Alternatively, maybe I'll wait for another time for it, but there's this place called Malinov, and up here Malinovska Skała, which is like a rock bluff that's been eroded over time by the wind. It's not quite as impressive from what I've seen as some of the places that you find along the Norwegian fjords, but pretty good all the same. So yeah, maybe the red track, which would be that way. Well, it's nice to stop just for a few minutes. Finished off a bag of salted cashew nuts that I'd started the other day going up Shinjelnia. Had a bit of water. I've got a sandwich with cheese and salami to look forward to. Love cheese and salami sandwiches, but I'm trying to keep it for as long as possible. After all, it's only just 10 o'clock. Still got quite a lot of the day ahead. And I figured because it's still so early, yes, let's not do Brenner. Let's follow the red track, which is this one here, and see where that takes us to. Life is full of adventure. It's just waiting to be had, isn't it? Oh, love it. And now I have the first moment of uncertainty, because to me this looks like a bike route, but I haven't seen any bikes either way, going up or down, so I reckon it's alright to chance it. You can always move out the way, you can hear bikes coming, but as you can see on the tree just here, it is marked red route. So this is much more of a Nick route, this is less of a normal let's go up for a nice country stroll sort of route. It takes me back. That adventure with Nick was one of the best, actually. Take some beating, you know, going off the map, getting not lost but getting into some really kind of slightly more treacherous terrain. Then it snowed on us. It's brilliant. Of course, I've got a nice video about it as well. I think this will be a good video. But it doesn't have Nick. Oh well, maybe one day. So yeah, makes me think actually. I've done very well for walking partners in the last year or two, especially in the mountains anyway. Let me think. There was Nick, who was really good for adventures, going a little bit off the beaten path, seeing things that you wouldn't otherwise see. A bit muddy here, crikey. And there's Emil. Met up with Emil recently. Didn't bring the camera, unfortunately, because it was a very windy day. I was worried that I wouldn't get very good footage. Crikey. I'm doing a real Nick sort of adventure here because it's all wet and muddy. Ugh, horrible. Well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Until the snows arrive and everything freezes out. So with Emil, everything was so nicely planned. You know, he knew which bus to get to take us out to Poromka, and then from there we walked up Robocha Wanka, which sounds worse than it is, and then had it all so well timed that by the time we got back down to the bottom, we were only a few minutes away from where the bus was going to be anyway, so it was orchestrated to a T. So Emil's really good for that. But the other people I need to really give credit to are my own family, of course. Aga is up for adventure. We went up Magurka, I think it was, quite recently, maybe a year ago or so. When we were at the top there, instead of just going straight back down again, we continued our adventure. And ended up quite exhausted, but really refreshed by the whole thing. And then the two youngest companions I've got, who are, of course, Susie and Matilda. They did me so proud yesterday. We went up Den Boviets, which was a quick walk. In fact, we walked longer to get to the bus to take us to the foot of this mountain. And then once we were there, I thought, is that it? Or do you want to keep going? Should we go up to Xinjiang? It's 2 hours away. And they said yes immediately, just like that. Yes, let's do it. Brilliant. They didn't really complain much along the way. And then we had some nice food at the top. And when we were coming down, we were planning to take the cable car back down. But the queue was ridiculous. Everyone was rushing because I think it was about 4:45 and the cable car was supposed to stop about 5. Probably not 5, but So instead of queuing, we thought, let's walk down. And they said, okay. So they did. We covered a ridiculous amount of steps. It was just really incredible. Both of them wearing new shoes that they'd never had on before, and just no complaints. Fantastic. So yeah, things are looking good for me. Emil and Nick aren't around that much, unfortunately, but I've got Aga and I've got the girls. And check out this view. My goodness, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Now, I don't know much about mushrooms, I'm not an expert, but if I had to guess, I would say this one would kill you if you ate it. Or at least it would make you very, very ill. But I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to continue walking on, and I'm definitely going in the right direction because look, there's the sign for it. Perfect. On we go. Wow, the variations in the terrain around here are really quite something. From that open kind of the road at the start, the track going up, to now this. And just think, 4 seasons in the year, each season would represent a slightly different challenge with a different view. So you can do everything at least 4 times. And then you can also take one of the myriad options for the trails. Every route, there's different colour gradings. There's a lot that can be done along this way. It's really good. I've got a lot to look forward to. Everything has just opened up, and I'm the only person for miles around. And it means that everything is so easy to hear, and I can hear a lot of buzzing. I don't know if it's to the left of me, up the hill, or down the slope. But either way, I'm hoping that it's just your friendly neighbourhood bees at work, and not something more sinister than that. But if it is, I suppose this is as good a place as any to start my mountain running challenge. Incredible. Wow, this sort of thing is bound to happen, isn't it? This part of the mountain doesn't get very much sunshine, so then you get muddy puddles. Fortunately, it's not looking too deep, but still, I'm always worried I'll slip. Happened to me once. I was in Cameroon, of all places. I found this lovely river, in the bend of the river. And when I went down there in the evening, when I stumbled across it the first time, it was the most scenic spot I'd ever seen in my life up to that stage. Jaw-droppingly gorgeous. I didn't have my camera with me because I was just out wandering around exploring. So I went back the next morning. It was all misty, you couldn't see very much. But I had my waterproof camera with me, so stepped into the river a little bit, and of course didn't realise that the stones in the river were going to be as slippery as ice. And whoop, onto my backside I went. Arms flew out to the side. My camera went whack against one of the other stones. Fortunately, I had chosen well, because I had a very rugged camera. So although the outer edges got a little bit buffed and scratched, the lens was unharmed and the camera continued working fine for the rest of the trip. It wasn't the best camera in terms of picture quality. You know, this is back in 2010, so you know, even DSLRs back then were fairly rudimentary by today's standards. But I got some good pictures. It's just a shame. They say that the best camera is the one that you have with you. And I think that's absolutely true. But you need to have a camera with you for even that to be true. Okay, so the muddy patches have gone for now. And on we go on the red track. This is really interesting. Sometimes it shocks me to think that it only took half an hour on the bus and then a bit of walking to get this far from humanity. And if you go to Szczyrk, it's even less. But on this whole walk, I've seen 2 other people, I think. They were coming up from Brenner, going to Uncle Tom's cabin. That's it. It's been my own private little adventure. I'm sure I'll come across more people soon though, because the weather's good and there are all sorts of retirees with their Nordic walking sticks. Saw a couple on the bus. I wondered where they were going. Maybe they were going to that Salmapol part to walk from there. Who knows? But it's been very peaceful. And my goodness, you do get rewarded with some views, don't you? And everywhere I can see here is another potential destination, another place I could go for a walk. It's really amazing. So, I really like that they have the same kind of, they always have these forked tree things with the signs on, so you can always see them coming. And this is Migdalskie Mount, 800 meters elevation. And let me see. Okay, so that's where I came from. Przełęcz Karkoszczonka. Saying it's half an hour away. Has it taken me only half an hour to get here? Feels like more than half an hour. So I'm continuing to the left to Przełęcz Salmopolska. Alright, so this is it, this way for me. Well, we're going downhill a little bit here, which is fine. But then I look further ahead and see the next mountain, which is so that's probably where I'm going. But I've got to go down a bit before going back up. I'm going to be going all the way up there, probably. Fun! So, just there, It's the start of the next climb, and it will take me up this way. It's 11:15 and I've already hit my steps target for the day, which is quite nice. So everything now is just a bonus for that. And I think I'll give it another 20 minutes or so before I think it's sandwich time. Am I out of shape, or is it just hard work? I'd say it's a bit of A and a bit of B, or as Lloyd in Krakow might prefer it, it's a tick in both boxes. Got to keep going to earn my sandwich. Well, I seem to have crested the peak of whatever this is. I actually walked past this, but I've come back to make a little video. It's a nice view down. Running out of battery, brought the battery pack with me, brought the cable, but the cable and the battery pack don't seem to be compatible. Annoying, because I'm down to about 27% on this DJI pocket thing. Wow, look at that shadow over there. That's a mysterious looking shadow, isn't it? Kind of cloud shaped, but also not. Right, so continue this way. Updates will be a little bit less frequent now, because I think you get the idea of this walk, and I'll just record the highlights from now on to save the battery. I am exhausted. I really feel like that sandwich is going to be the most delicious food that I've had in ages. It's all I can think about. Sandwich, sandwich, sandwich. Salami and cheese. Should have added a few jalapenos to make it even better. Oh well, next time. Right, let's see what comes next on this little adventure. Hopefully somewhere to sit down. I think I've been rather fortunate with my choice of routes. I've had some steep climbs to get the muscles working and the heart pumping, burn some calories. But between those steep climbs, things have levelled off quite nicely. And this is just the very definition of pleasant. The sunlight filtering through the canopy, the stillness to the air. Past two other people, and that's it. This place is all mine. And since I don't have to worry about exactly where I put my feet with every step, I can concentrate a little bit more on the delights of the scenery. It's turning out to be a very good walk. Talk about a small world, huh? I've now seen 6 people, and out of those 6, most have said Cześć, and one said, "Oh, hi Chris." So I think it's a former student of mine. They're on their way all the way to Klimchok. Wow, that's quite an undertaking. Good luck to them. Small world, eh? So, this is Kotash, 965 meters elevation. There's a little shelter just there. And what have we got over here? Looks like a little viewing point and the picnic bar. It doesn't look terribly open. It's a nice view though. And I think this means sandwich time. And This then is my lunch. I've got some water and I've got my delicious, delicious cheese and salami sandwich. Time for that first bite. That's so good. Magnificent, if I do say so myself, and I do. Well, I'm here at Cottage then, and given that my battery is almost depleted, I'm gonna say farewell here. I'm gonna continue on to Salmapol, but I don't think that the battery will want to play fair, so I don't think there'll be any video footage for you. You know what that means? I'll have to come back. So I'm going to go and scout the place out, see what it's like, and come back another time with a full battery and the right cable for the battery charger. So until next time, with Closely Observed World, here at the top of a mountain eating a sandwich, I'm Christopher Walker. Bye.